Hi, I'm Mackenzie. Welcome to the next episode of Paso KIDS-N-CO. I'm here with the director and a few cast members of Shrek. Would you guys like to introduce your part in the production of Shrek, the musical?
I'm Skyler Carreon, and I'm the director of Shrek the Musical.
I'm Noelia Collins, and I play Fiona.
I'm Zach Spencer, and I play Shrek in Shrek the Musical.
And I'm Jorge Blakely, and I play Donkey.
What was your inspiration for casting and the set and everything for the show?
That's a big question. Well, I don't know. The cast sort of fell into place really well. You know, we had some talent. We had a lot of talent at the auditions, but just both visually and then like the way certain people play off each other, the casting sort of came naturally once everyone that auditioned. And when it's come to sort of the look of the show and the feel and everything, the design in terms of the way the set is painted and everything, I'm trying to go a little less, it's like a cartoon, but a little more detailed than my last show, which was sort of broad, a little more broad than this one is going to be. This one, we're going to get a little more detailed, just because Shrek is kind of a big, crazy show that's all over the place, and well, you guys know it's kind of, it's insane. You have to be crazy to direct a musical. I will say that.
How did you three get into acting?
Well, for me, it's because I had a couple of friends that were coming here and acting at KIDS-N-CO, Caitlin and Kiara Chinoy, and they have been trying to get me to come because they told me it was a really great experience. It was lots of fun, that everyone was really fabulous, and so I decided that I would come and audition, and this is my first audition, and I got the role, and it's been really fun. I really like it here.
I started acting in 2008. I started at a UTEP summer class, and from there on I went from going to school, and one of my teachers, Miss Laura Sembrano, was a musical director here, and she kept telling me, oh, you need to come, oh, you need to come. And I came and I saw a show, and I was just in wow, so I thought, why not audition for this place? And I've been here for almost a year and a half now.
Well, my first acting, so to say, yes, was for Skyler's Aladdin that I was in, that I got a part in, and that was at the end of the season for last year, and since then I've been here doing the shows, and that's how I started.
Well, I thought it was interesting that you two were guards. Both of you were guards in Aladdin, and now you're Shrek and Donkey.
Yeah, and we're stepping up. Yeah. And even as guards, him and I were always together. We were like buddy. Yeah, we were right.
Yeah, huh? That's right.
You might say it's one jump ahead of where they were before.
Oh, you.
So Skyler, how did you get into directing? I know you've done some acting before.
Yeah, so directing sort of, well, it was kind of a gift and an accident, but a happy accident, and something I'd wanted to do. I've directed short films before and co-written some of them. And actually right now, and even before I directed Aladdin, I started working at UTEP making videos and directing them and writing them as well. And I've been acting here at KIDS-N-CO for a very long time and doing the tech and stuff. Well, about 8 years now, but that equals about 15 plus productions. So when Ms. Laura Sembrano could not direct Aladdin, I was asked to, and I at first was sort of like, really, you want me to do the musical? It seems kind of, you know, for my first show, that seems a little, but it paid off because, I mean, I really loved that show, and I'm really loving the way Shrek is looking. And funny enough, it was the same sort of instance where Laura couldn't do it anymore, and is still on as the musical director, but she couldn't be the full-on director, so I had to come in for Shrek because I kept saying how much I liked doing a musical. Silly me. because it's insane. I mean, this show has like a bunch of songs and stuff, but it's a lot of fun to direct because it's just something different and new and exciting. I mean, you know, who would think to do Shrek the musical besides, you know, the people who originally put it on? But, you know, directing, I don't want to say it came naturally, but it seemed as though everything was sort of leading up to that.
I know that there's a very large age range from the youngest to the oldest person in this production. All of you, how has it been working with like a bunch of different people?
Working with the younger kids is really fun because they're all really sweet, and working with some of the older actors is really, really great because they have a lot of experience and they know what you're supposed to be doing and what's better way to learn a line or how to practice it. So their experience has been really, really valuable. So the age range is fantastic, I think.
I love hanging out with the little ones. They're always so funny and making little jokes. And then I sometimes hang out with the older ones because some of them go to my high school, like this one, and I see him there sometimes. So I think the age range is perfect.
Yeah, I think the whole like Kids-N-CO, you know, kids, but you think kids as just like the little ones, you know, but I think it's more like a better experience with all the younger and the older kids interacting because the young kids are still learning and the older kids have a big, like, I'd say interacting with them, it's a big impact for them still learning the theater and this and that. And they've taught me a lot too because a lot of them have been in this longer than I have, so it's really valuable, yeah.
Your turn.
Well, it's a huge cast. It's a huge cast, but it's really diverse. There's a lot of different personalities in this cast, and a lot of people that I've worked with before. You know, Shrek and Donkey here, notwithstanding. But you know, I really like the dynamic of the three Fionas. We have the Fiona, and then Teen Fiona, and then Little Fiona, and then we have Ogre Fiona. So there's like a great sort of, you know, juxtaposition in all those ages. I mean, all four of them are completely different people, but they really seamlessly play those parts. And then, you know, I've got a lot of older people who are really good at, you know, taking care of some big stuff, but then the little people get some big laughs too. And I really like working with all of them and, you know, respecting them all as actors and, you know, as part of this team that's putting on this show. It's a lot of fun to be able to work with a bunch of different ages because you have all these different minds and ideas flowing in the room. And, you know, when I kind of get stuck or I don't really know what to do, or even if I do know what to do, sometimes they'll come up with something better, you know, especially if they're kind of one of the younger ones. They'll come up with some outlandish idea, but then it's like, well, maybe we actually can do that. Maybe we can do something, not to that scale because, you know, we don't have $64 million, but, you know, we can do something like that because that's a funny idea. So it's always a lot of fun.
So what's been your favorite part of not only the show, but like the experience of the rehearsals and coming in and being able to interact with all the different people here?
Me first, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, and George knows this, I'm a big fan of his song. I make him run it so many times, but I really do like that song. It's just such a fun number. And then the Fairy Tale Creatures have a great number too, Story of My Life, not to be confused with the One Direction song. But what? Why?
Come on, Skyler, he'll never be able to let go of this.
I know. But I'm a big fan of that. You know, the interactions between Shrek and Donkey are really fun, and I like working with these lovely people right here. And my favorite thing about this whole process is putting on a show, knowing that on Friday there will be people that have paid money to sit down in those seats and come enjoy a show. We can bring them into the land of Duloc and Shrek's Swamp and tell them this story. And I think that it's, you know, a great story to tell. You know, dealing with Shrek and, you know, someone who's an outsider. And it's something that a lot of the kids that come here feel. And that makes me feel good that we can sort of, not only do we tell stories and let kids who maybe don't feel like they fit in somewhere else fit in, but we can tell stories about people like that. You know, I feel like I did that with my last show, and I feel like I'm doing it with this show. And I really like that. I really like being able to tell those kinds of stories.
I feel like there might be kind of a running theme with the shows that you're directing.
Yeah, and I like that.
With especially you directing them, you know.
What about you guys?
My favorite part of the show is probably either this one song, I Think I Got You Beat.
Oh my god.
Ah, yes.
Or the donkey song, the donkey song, because it really is hilarious. And then of this whole process is just getting to know everyone that a lot of us, don't really fit in with the usual crowd, and then you come here and it's like everyone's like me and you fit in here, and that's really awesome. So I like everyone here, and I like the show. It's really fun.
Oh, I the Dragon song. That
Oh
is
my
like
God.
one of my favorite. I cannot get enough of that song. That's what I'm gonna say. Are you gonna say that? Okay. Well, you can have it, man. I wanted to say, like, I wanted to get it out there.
I watched
Please
it on
don't
the,
die.
I watched it on the Facebook page like 5 times in a row the other day.
My favorite part of this process in the show is just being with all these people that care about me and are so awesome. And it's been a growing experience for me. It's helped me as an actor, as a singer. But my favorite part is during Forever, and there's a few surprises in that song that I can't reveal right now, but I would really love to.
Okay, just say it. Well, my favorite part of the show, like everyone else, the donkey songs. I like the donkey songs. I like the fairy tale. Like, whenever everyone in the show comes together, it's just a lot of fun and excitement because there's so many different characters, like fairy tale characters, and they all come together, and it's so cool how they all, like, their actions bounce off each other and clash, and it's a lot of fun. I like watching it, sitting out in the audience the short time I have that Skyler allows me to. But Forever, that's a lot of fun. It's insane. My favorite part of the show coming together would be watching it slowly, like from the very beginning, having the idea, and then at the end, it's like, oh, it's coming together. It's being like one big piece, one big picture that's going to be really awesome, and I hope people like it when they see it.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, to add a little bit more to my point, I like that too. I like starting with an idea. When Mia and I were sitting in the theater and then just blasting the Dragon song on loop, trying to figure out what the choreography was going to be for the auditions, we figured out the ending of the choreography for the show, for that song in the show. And to be able to see that like come to fruition, you know, to come up with something and be like, oh, that would be cool. And then to see it happen. I mean, like, you know, I was like, it'd be cool if we had like a dragon puppet, like a giant dragon head. And then it got made, and it's like this great thing. I mean, you know, it's stuff like that is just, there's an immense like feeling of like gratitude and like, oh man, just excitement. Like, yes, you know, we thought of that and now it's here, it's there, it exists. And I'm really excited for people to see it, for audiences to see it, because man, there's some really awesome stuff in this show, including the Dragon song and Donkey song. I mean, and this one has a great song too. All of them, everybody has a great song. It's just a really rad show. I'm really excited.
Shuck the Musical opens November 28th and runs through December 21st, 7:30 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, and a 2:30 p.m. matinee on Sundays. Thank you guys for coming, giving your time for the interview.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
And now we will be talking to the director of our next show, Stella Perry.
Hi.
So what show are you directing this spring?
I am doing an adaptation of The Little Prince. It was adapted by my brother, Ryan Johan Perry. And this will be in January through February of 2015.
Can you tell us a little bit about the audition process and what you'll be looking for?
That's a good question. So I will be auditioning November 30th and December 1st. This will be in the evening, I believe. And I am looking for a versatile adult male who can take on multiple roles with ease. 2 female leads, one a younger version of the other, to do singing, sort of operatic pieces that have been written. And then several other fun roles. There's the fox and the snake, and those could be children that I just deem sort of to fit the role and the physical and vocal qualities that I see in the version of the script that we're doing.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the show itself?
Okay, well, The Little Prince is the first novel my brother ever read on his own. So as a child, he read it, and it's kind of evolved with him through his stages of his life. I myself have not read the novel in my youth. I read it recently as an adult. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires with this kind of merging of youth and maturity and growing old. For my brother's part, he is looking at the clash of modernity mixed with old ideas. He's looking at the Industrial Revolution versus the natural world. And so you'll see a lot of sort of contrasting elements just kind of fighting to win over the stage. Also, the aviator, he's stranded in the beginning, and the prince we follow the prince on his journey to meet the aviator where he is. And so the aviator is these different people that the prince encounters on his way to his final adult self. So it has some complexity to it, but I think my brother is trying to recapture that very innocent spirit that he first felt when he read it as a child.
What made you go with the steampunk adaptation?
As a director, I always enjoy exposed parts. I love deconstruction and sort of exposing the apparatus of theater or film. And so with the steampunk aesthetic, I took that on as a director's choice to show the gears and mechanisms that work to create the play. And so what we'll have is sort of these inner workings with sort of these mechanical characters kind of making the stage move and making things come alive. And then also behind that is the actual stage. And so I kind of want to play with these ideas of seeing how things move and watching the story evolve with the inanimate parts as well as with the performance. So it's a fun aesthetic to work with. It'll be, I think, fun for the youth, for kids to enjoy and to see all the different pieces. And then it also is a bit of commentary on like these ideas we have in this day and age of mashing things up. So taking Victorian and trying to figure out the future with older concepts, and like I think it ties in well with the themes of the story. So that was my director's choice.
So what age groups are you looking for in the auditions for the different characters?
Just, competent 5+ is, what I'd like to have. I love a varied cast. I think different age groups play off each other very nicely, and there's always the fun of creating like tall, short dynamics. Within that, especially when there's power struggle, playing with the different levels, and you can do that with different sizes and shapes. So I look for just anyone that has the enthusiasm and ability to commit to this show, because I do want to kind of take performance to the next level with this. So yeah, I encourage everyone to try out. There are different parts. For the fox and the snake, because I plan to have them in these sort of masks, I need people with really robust voices and are able to project and create the volume that they need to fill the space. So that's probably in my own. And singers, of course, and people that can move. I encourage dancers to come out that just want to kind of physicalize these different characters.
How did you get involved with directing at Kids-N-Co?
Well, I kind of just asked. It seems like there's a freedom in Kids-N-Co where people that are willing to try and direct and orchestrate a show do and attempt they attempt and they succeed, and I think there's a network of support here. I have done directing in New York City and in other parts of the country, so I do have the experience, and I have a good dialogue with Stella Gutierrez, and she's entrusting me with this. So my first attempt is going to be the Polaroid Express, which will be in December, and then January is the big one. So most importantly, Kids-N-Co is not about just the kids. I want to stress the co part of that, and I think with The Little Prince, there's an interesting dynamic there with the aviator being an adult male, and I do encourage adults to come out and audition for this role because it's a very exciting role. And also the young child, the little prince, which doesn't necessarily have to be a male. It could be a female as well. I'm trying for 8+, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But someone with that kind of sensibility or able to express sort of that quality of innocence that is prevalent in the novel. And so I can't restrict that to gender because I think it's everywhere. And so I will restrict it to age just so I can have that adult-child dynamic that is so important in this story. So, and again with the Rose characters, the adult Rose being the older version of her younger self, having two actors, and they don't really have to look alike, but having the ability to express the maturity and that sort of diva quality that the Rose has in the novel as well. So again, there's two very important adult roles and two very important child roles. With the addition of others, the fox and snake are flexible as far as gender and age are concerned. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout and we'll get all the different kinds of people in, which I think is good for the company. So.
Thank you, Stella. The Little Prince auditions will be 7 p.m. Sunday and Monday, November 30th and December 1st. And Shrek the Musical will run from November 28th to December 21st, 7:30 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, and a 2:30 p.m. matinee on Sundays. Again, I'm Mackenzie, and this has been Paso KIDS-N-CO.